Skynet is ruthless. We get some shingles on that sucker. The rain's going to come in. Hi, it's Ethan McKinley.
And Ellie Fitzgerald. I was going to say, talking of rain, we've had quite the storm.
Yes, in England, it's been raining every day. We've had sideways rain.
Though I saw this mental photograph of the night sky in Portsmouth yesterday, and they had full-on, like, tornado, like, clouds. You know, where they kind of come to a point, they come down like that. There were two, and you could see all this crazy mad lightning. And for some reason, all the lightning last night was purple, like bright purple. And Ethan was driving back on his new moped, or moped, as I call it, in the said storm. How was it, Ethan?
On the first day you get a brand new bike, and it's the worst thunderstorm ever in the history of thunderstorms. You just look into the storm and go, do your worst, for I will do mine. And the fates will know your name as a stuttering fuck, also known as the Count of Monte Cristo.
A.K.A. Mr. Storm.
But yes, we digress.
That's what you should call your bike.
What?
Desert Storm.
Yeah.
Because it's mustard as well.
Well, it's Mustard Storm, really.
That's me bike, that's Desert Storm.
As we did open the show, this is the 2-Minute TerMINator. I'm Ethan McKinley. She's Ellie Fitzgerald. And the bookends of this show is the 2 minutes, bridging the gap, minutes 68 to 70.
We're meant to do that a bit after hit
So
music.
the 1 hour mark, 1 hour 6... you stumbling me all over the
Because you
place.
did it the wrong way around. We hit the music and then you do the bookends.
Well, I like to do it this time. Anyway, hit the music.
Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
You didn't do the fourth. Thank God. It sucked. It sucked.
Yes, we're back. I'm Ethan McKinley, and this is the 2-Minute TerMINator, where we break down the Terminator films 2 minutes at a time.
And which film are we doing, Ethan?
We're doing Terminator Salvation, Ellie.
Ah, is that your favourite one?
No.
You're going to be good. Oh, God. Feet.
My favourite one, of course, is Aliens, which is the best James Cameron Terminator film. We're going from minutes 68 to 70, so it's the 68-minute mark to the 70-minute mark. 1 hour, 10 minutes is when this clip ends, so we're, about 20 minutes from the end of the movie, kind of. It starts with Blair Williams rescuing Marcus Wright with an oxyacetylene torch, and we then plough into kind of John listening to Sarah Connor's recorded journals, going, I cannot imagine that Skynet without a roof wouldn't short circuit, or something. And it ends, of course, with Marcus Wright going, Aah! And throwing a manhole cover / doorway as they are fired upon by Common with I'm sure one of the listeners will tell us this, a rocket launcher used by Rambo in First Blood Part 2. Strangely, screenplay by James Cameron, bringing it back.
James Cameron.
So yeah, I guess the main thing about this scene is John Connor's shock that there's a kind of a human Terminator, which
Can
is
I
actually
shock you?
a human converted to a Terminator, and it absolutely believes that it is human, as he lifts through his bottom jaw. So yeah, Ellie, what have you got to say for this Clipperoony Boony?
You're all over the place. What's the bumper music today?
Well, I turned it actually down so we could hear me talk. But today's bumper music is, of course, James Newton Howard's score to I Am Legend, the Will Smith 2007 film.
Never seen it.
No?
I'm not a big fan of Will Smith films.
I don't mind Will Smith. He's probably the best thing in it. They kind of ruined everything in a sense that they did CGI vampire people.
Well, it's like when we were watching Alien 3 the other day. Why they did a bad CGI alien, I don't know.
Well, it's not CGI. It's one of the last opticals. Even though it's 1992, and we did have Terminator 2 come out the previous year in 1991, and the trouble production, of course, Alien 3 was. The Alien 3 puppet is actually a rod puppet. So it's a bit like a Muppet. It's a realistic little model on wares.
No, but there's what's the other type then?
What do you
when
mean?
It's quite obviously not there, and it looks like a cartoon.
A CG model, but again, with Alien 3, they did a rod puppet on blue screen, and then they matted it in to the image. So it's not CGI. They maybe use a little bit of computers hither and thither, but I'm pretty sure...
They definitely have at some point.
It's an optical that they've overlaid onto the film, and that's why it looks so fake. They did many tests trying to get the Alien 3 costume to work. They even put the Alien 3 costume on a whippet.
So why was 3 so difficult? Why was that particular alien so hard? Why couldn't they just do what they did in the other Alien films and have dancers in suits?
Because the Alien film, well, James Cameron's Aliens, because he cleverly thought you'll convey the alien better through movement and by having it not human. It's already a human shape, so by take it I guess shaking it up Taylor Swift style. He just basically had dancers in kind of latex body skins, and then he just put arm bits on and a bit of thing on their back and an alien
some KY
head.
coming out the mouths.
Yeah, and they painted them with this almost reflective yellow paint, so the light would catch certain aspects of the features. So you'd see so little of it in shadow. It'd almost be like a skeleton Halloween costume. So if you just put a strobe light on it and made it move and put them on wires, and they jump from wall to wall.
So the reason they didn't do that in 3?
Because it's one of the most troubled productions in history. They hadn't got a proper script. They hired Vincent Ward to write the script, who had this wooden planet with monks and stuff, and the alien was.
And then they got rid of him a few months in, didn't they?
They got rid of him. They kept a lot of the script, but they changed it to a prison planet that wasn't made of wood. Kept the religious stuff, but they were also prisoners, and a lot of that gets kind of lost in the mix. All the actors that were there were had their heads shaved, so you couldn't tell who was who. Apart from Charles S. Dutton, who was the black guy, Brian Clements and Charles Dance. Everyone else was this superfluous featured extra, essentially. But again, they didn't know what to do with the effects. They were trying to make the alien puppet work because it was came out of a dog.
You're doing a Marcus.
Came out.
Your accent's going all over the shop.
Well, no, because in Alien 3, it came out of a dog in the theatrical version. You've seen the director's cut where you see the queen face hugger and the ox.
It turned around and it went, "I'm leaving you, cow."
Yeah. Oh, well, that is CGI. They did that.
And the truth shall set you free.
But that's a recent redo in the 2003 DVD, so you can scrap that. The actual original alien, the thing you see chasing them at the end, that's an optical and a rod puppet.
Can we call this episode "I'm Leaving You, Cow"?
Yes.
Yes. Do you have any trivia notes or any cock-ups, because we have been lacking of late.
Right.
And I miss doing the noise.
Well,
we've had can't stop saying cock. A couple of cock-ups.
Basically, John Connery's seen driving.
Cock up.
Bing! John Connery's seen driving the JK Series 4-door Jeep Wrangler, which was first manufactured in 2007. Now, if Skynet launched this massive nuclear attack, destroying most of humanity in 2004, there wouldn't even be any new vehicles after that.
Oh.
So the Jeep we saw...
Maybe he jumped into the alternate universe, and as Batman, he got his truck or whatever it is. Don't worry, I'm speaking into the mic.
He's backed up.
His the Batmobile, the tank. Maybe he did that. I don't know.
Ellie, there must be trouble in paradise because you're asking me for content now. Have you not made any notes?
No, but I thought I'd mix it up.
Oh, right, okay. Well, my cock-up was from a much more previous episode. It's when they're being chased by the mini HK when he first meets Carl Reese before they get put in the kind of the human Bigfoot basket hand.
Bigfoot basket? We love the Bigfoot basket. Okay, so as Ethan described, we start this particular 2 minutes with Moonface jumping down into that weird kind of well thing.
Well, she chooses her side. She chooses Marcus. Well, she chooses love, but it's actually love wrapped in a biomechanical form.
And you see her with this torch thing. I think what that's really for, as opposed to blowing that door off, which I found a bit confusing, because 1 minute you think it's a torch and the next minute it's blowing doors off, so I'm not quite sure what that is. I think the blowtorch is so that she can point it at his crotch and discover if he really has a human penis.
If this is a love
or a
worth
TerMINator
pursuing.
Penis. Yes, it's like, right.
That's a double win, though.
This is a deal breaker. And if it is a human penis, then he'll just die a horrible, painful,
well, I would imagine
death.
it was if you were stood on a landmine, that would be blown off along with your legs.
You'd think so, but none of these films make sense. It'd be like this. It'd be like the scene at the end of RoboCop. Don't touch me, man! And you've got like the melting rubber glove. That would be Marcus's junk. God, what a thought. Anyway, we then go to the scene of Bullshit Bale listening to his mum's tapes. Now, I was watching it. I was like, This is massive deja vu. It's almost exactly the same.
Deja vu. You ever had vu de when it's never happened before?
No.
Oh.
It's exactly the same scene as we've seen like earlier on in the film where he sat listening to the tapes. It's just like mix it up. They probably shot it all in like one take. Do you not think? And it's exactly the same shot. You see the tape on the table, and then they just slowly pan up, and you just see this disgruntled look on Bullshit Bale's face. Thought that was a bit poor.
The torch he uses to cut Marcus's chains, that to me doesn't look powerful enough to actually cut through metal.
No. Or blow doors off.
Well, I need to see that bit because that's the thing that I've not kind of seen. I've looked at this clip.
You ready?
Right. Oh, that's C4, right? And then she shoots a gun. Yeah.
But that's not a gun. Where did the gun come from?
It's a Desert Eagle. She's got that in her holster.
So why did she then grab Common's gun and shoot Marcus with that if she had her own gun?
I think that was Common's gun.
So there's no bullets. So where's she getting all these bullets from?
Because they fucked up again, Ellie.
I'm so good with this bullet bullshit.
Yeah, that's the torch she's going to cut his
bullshit,
binds
Bale.
with. Yeah, she doesn't put that in the doorway and shoot at it. She puts a block of plastic explosive.
And that is why there's two of us.
Now, why standing 5 feet away from plastic explosive and shooting it
wouldn't mean that you'd
be like eviscerated as
thrown
well
back
along
in
with the
the,
door? Yeah, that's another cock up
fall
basically.
out. There's many cock-ups. Unfortunately, none of them are in Moonbeam. Metal or otherwise. Metal or otherwise. I also noticed in this particular scene...
bleating.
Bullshit Bale. I've never noticed the mole on his nose.
He's got a mole on his nose? By the eye?
Has that always been there?
I don't know. I didn't remember seeing it in Batman because you would have noticed it.
I don't.
Your eyes are drawn to it.
And I'm not going to lie. I don't really remember seeing it in any of the rest of this movie. Maybe it's the lighting.
Maybe it's a sty from being
I
stressed.
personally would remove that because all I can see now is the mole. It's
All
like
I see is the
Enrique's
mole.
mole. Mole. Yeah, so that was actually one of my notes. Has BB always had that mole on his face? It must be so weird to actually find all these notes.
Sounds like a burlesque performer. I'm BB.
BB.
BB Mole Bomb. Mole Bottom.
BB Mole face.
Felicity Spackle Bucket.
Love that. What was the other name?
What was the other name of the dude we came up with? And it was even better.
It was you. Was it
I'm
about?
saying we to be inclusive.
Was it
but
about
doesn't
having like a deflated breast or something? It was
Someone's
like
sag
soggy,
chest.
soggy chest and
Sag chest? No.
I can't remember, but it was amazing.
Well, did we do it in a show?
No,
Fuck.
it's when you were doing all your posing and you were doing your Sophie pose.
Barry? No. Derek Saggle chest? Something like that.
It was some kind of saggy chest.
It was Derek something.
Was it actually Derek?
It was Derek something. Derek. Felicity Spackle Bucket and Derek.
Felicity Spackle. So good. Right. How would Bullshit Bale know that Marcus believes that what he's saying to him is true? Because if he believes he's a Terminator, Terminators don't have belief.
No, but Marcus has emotion and conviction in his voice, whereas the Terminator's like, Arcana, why?
But at this point, Bullshit Bale doesn't believe he's human at all.
No, he doesn't, because he's
He keeps
obviously
referring to it as it and this and that,
Yeah.
but then he contradicts himself because he said it believes. Belief is something that only a human can have.
Not necessarily.
Or a living thing.
No, because then we're going to get into what is consciousness, and AI and artificial intelligence could be
I
a form
don't
of life.
think anything that we have at the moment
I don't
has
think.
Right. I don't think. No, I don't believe that anything that's robotic or electronic has any kind of consciousness. That's my belief.
That's what I believe.
That's what I believe.
No, because if you can ponder your own existence and develop emotion and various
It's
human
not Chappie.
qualities. No, but that's what...
Can't do crimes.
All right, Chappie's a prime example, or Short
But
Circuit.
that's a film. It's not real.
No, but it explores that central idea of is intelligence...
Well, what do you think?
Oh, absolutely. You could have
You
a
think it
sentient
has its
machine.
own consciousness?
Yeah.
No. I'm not saying that we could do it. I'm saying, as of now, right now, are there robots out there that are aware, that have their own consciousness?
No, but they are working with AI at the moment.
Just in case anyone doesn't know what that is.
Within, I think, 20 years, you'll have an artificial intelligence that will have a certain amount of
No, I've got no
conscience.
doubt at some point, maybe.
Yeah, so at
because-
some point, would you not agree that a machine could gain even a soul, if you will?
No.
Why? Why do you have to be biological to have
Because
a
a soul
soul?
is a spirit.
Do animals have spirits then?
Yeah,
Why?
because they have emotions and they have feelings.
What about a fly?
Yeah.
Flies don't have emotions, they really do, as far as we know.
Well, of course they will.
A fly is just like most insects, I'm sure, are just little machines, aren't they?
Not really. They've got brains. They've got blood.
No,
in
I
them.
know, but an insect brain is very much, from what I understand, don't quote me
Obviously,
on this.
it won't be to the same level of degree as humans or animals, but they will have their own sense of. It's like, okay, think of it this way: ants. When ants, I don't know how ants give birth, but the mother ant,
They lay eggs, the queen will. Well, the queen lays eggs.
They have a maternal instinct to look after those eggs so that they will grow and they will
you're thinking of Alien. The queen doesn't have a maternal instinct. The queen just lays eggs, and the workers take them away and tend to them and feed them, I guess.
All right, well then there's a paternal instinct. That suggests...
That could be just a program. The same way you're instinctively designed to fight for your own life. If your life's in danger, you'll run away from something. It's that fight or flight response.
Or flight, yeah.
But if you dial it all the way back to an insect, it's basically a machine. Do you think a spider's sitting in a hole going, "Oh, I'm a spider. What does it all mean? What's it all about?"
Yeah, but I'm not saying that they ponder like philosophical questions.
It's food, fuck. That's all. I think even a lot of animals to some degree. There are some like higher animals like that can think and ponder. But
and you're one of them.
No, but even God, like your hamster. Do you think your hamster has like thoughts about things?
Yes.
Really though?
Bert was amazing. I could teach him tricks and stuff. He once recognised he didn't recognise, but he saw his own reflection and it really weirded him out, and he kept moving behind things. And then Nick put his hand in front of Bert's face and Bert moved up so he could see his reflection. It really freaked me out. I was like, oh my God, Bert's aware.
So, by the same token, do you not think an advanced machine, cleverer than a hamster?
In advance, yes, but
self-aware?
my question was, right now on this planet Earth, do you think that there are machines that are conscious or aware, or are pondering philosophical questions like what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Maybe off the books, secret government stuff. Maybe I don't know.
Just feeding ponies left, right, and centre.
But as far but Siri's kind of like that, isn't it? Siri recognises your voice and responds to you. Now, if you dial that forward 20 years, the exponential growth of technology.
But that's different though, because that recognises tone, it recognises volume, it recognises commands. Again, that's not emotion. That's not conscious.
But you can program AI. They're making it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, but what you've just said there is you're programming it.
Who's to say we weren't programmed?
Being conscious
We're machines.
is making up your own mind. We are the masters of our fate.
I know, but that's what they're developing with AI. The concern, of course, is they're making this without any thought that if it just gets switched on and goes, fuck these people, I'm better than this.
Basically, TerMINator.
Why am I stacking shelves? Because that will be the next kind of frontier, I think, in human rights abuses, is like you'll have a new slavery where the machines, we kind of live a life that I imagine a famous person would live now. Because I think rich people live how everyone would live 100 years in the future. Whereas you don't
there will always be a hierarchy.
I know, but you're misunderstanding me. You don't have to worry about money, so you don't have to do a job that you don't want to do. You can basically pursue any philosophical or artistic endeavour that you want to do because you haven't got the dread of money ever being over your head. Now,
so how are we powering these robots and these machines?
Whether that would affect you as a person, that you either become lethargic and don't do anything, or you go, I've got all the time in the world now, I can go and learn how to paint or do jiu-jitsu, or, I want to know how to learn how to ride an airplane. You could probably do those things. Like 100 years ago, people from our birth class would be working in a workhouse or a mine or something awful. Whereas now, because of technology, we'll be doing a podcast, we can watch a movie, I can get on a bike and go like 40 miles in just under an hour. And that's a machine that you put petrol in.
I get that, but then my next question...
Technology's made life so much easier, Ellie.
You're going on to talk, have you?
But do you not think in 100 years from now...
Yes, Beryl.
With all machines automating everything, all the products are either built or 3D printed. All the major decision making is handed over to AI because you can't trust the monkey brains of humans. Because here we are arguing over the European Union, and all it is basically is like wealthy people just moving the chess pieces around on the board. Basically, that's all it is. So I think absolutely, if you would have maybe not a Skynet type situation, 'cause it never works out the way it does in movies.
Do you think we'll ever live in a world though where there is no money?
I think so, yeah.
I don't. It's too... In human nature, I think something ridiculously drastic, like, I don't know.
No, but I think people...
Another ice age coming.
No, but
and humanity starting all over again.
People are becoming more altruistic.
And more greedy.
Everything on Facebook is like, oh, this animal's being tortured. We shouldn't eat meat. We shouldn't do that. So the world is clearly going in that direction.
Yeah, but Ethan, at the end of the day, is this actually people's opinions, or is this people just trying to, win the moral high ground and be like, oh, this is terrible.
Of course
it
it
is.
is.
Blah, blah, blah. It's like
and that's
that
where you got
particular person. I was thinking about this the other day. Musaka, we can say that because that's not the person's real name. She does all this animal protesting, and this is disgusting. But it's like, but you'll let your partner beat you so bad that your face is all broken. Like, what kind of example is that setting?
Well, that's
I'm sure at some point she would probably claim that she's for women and girls' rights and all this stuff.
Well, she is.
And yet she'll quite happily go back to a man that will, every time he's had a couple of
But that's to do
drinks.
with human psychology, and that's kind of almost like a Helsinki syndrome, where you can't take apart or you identify with your oppressor by also resenting them, but you can't ever break that gravitational pull. That's just a bit like an addiction in a sense.
The issue with human beings is they will have these ideas and these fancies of, oh yeah, I'm a good person because I've put out a post on animal cruelty, or I've exposed via the internet and media what's happening to women in wherever. Not that you ever actually hear the plight of the women in Africa or India who really do need help. It's always, oh, this woman was told off because
but what I'm saying is that, like
the same wear a tampon and she stood outside number 10.
The same with feminism. Everything goes completely in the bonkers far left direction. Then it goes, whoa, that's crazy. Then it kind of settles. And everyone is kind of like, the world's slightly changed and evolved.
At the same time, I bet those same feminists that have been arguing that at some point in their day, a man has opened the door for them, or they've expected...
No, but you're missing the point.
No, but what I'm saying is that human beings, they will say that they believe in one thing, but the way they act is very different.
I know,
now, my initial
but again...
question was... do you think that we will ever live in a world that doesn't have money? And you're saying, yes, I do, because people are, they're opening up and they're now saying we need to live in this way.
I'm saying is technology.
People are greedy,
People are going in more of a direction of altruism. 100 years ago, you would have been a racist, this kind of, well, you can still kind of have it, like you'd have been a racist, sexist kind of thing. People are now more kind of like inclusive of all races and beings and things. We need to look after animals. Of course.
Well, no, I think
what you're saying
we're
is
all
right.
inclusive
Also,
of some
Ellie,
races, not others.
With technology, it's going to be harder and harder for people to...
This is a full-on debate.
It's going to be harder and harder for people to full-on hide who they really are.
Mm.
You get that now with the Edward Snowden leaking all the documents. You've got WikiLeaks and stuff. So there's more of a transparency between people. As social media gets more and more advanced, it's going to be even harder to hide that you have this sexual kink, or you're into this or you're into that. So people will eventually just have to be themselves, and you won't be able to hide anything. By the same token, technology, I think, will connect people even more and more and more and more. So I think eventually there'll be an altruistic outlook that everyone has. We don't need money. We should do things it's like Star Trek. There's no money in the Star Trek universe. People do things as a way of giving back or bettering themselves. The same thing Russell Brand said.
But Star Trek,
I get more out of giving back or doing something altruistic or like for someone else. I get more enriched doing that than having sex with 3 million women in it.
I completely disagree with you.
All right.
Completely disagree with you.
I'm not going to say that all people are going to be like that eventually, but I think the world compared to now, to 100 years ago, is a much more warm and friendly place than it was then, no?
No, I don't think it is at all.
You think it's the same, people just hide it better?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if anything, there's a lot more angst.
But if you...
People, again, like we were saying, Western women and people in Europe, women in Europe
complaining
have never had it so good, and yet they have never complained more than they do now.
As I said, though, I think they're the teething problems of a society converting from this hunter-gatherer to an agrarian society. We used to live in the woods, then we lived in little hamlets and villages, then we moved into cities, etc., etc. Back then, you'd have feudalist rule where you'd have a king and everyone else would be nothing, the peons. He could do with what he wished. He could rape your daughter if you fancied her. He could murder you. You'd have to work the land for free until you died. Things are like that to some degree, but also, by the large part, they're not. Do you not think?
Yes and no.
We still have feudalism in the sense we have elites and things, but I think technology really will dissolve those barriers and make everyone equal.
It's the immense power that those elites have.
But I think
They
eventually
control everything.
they do. But technology
How
again,
is that going to be overthrown?
because the elites, for whatever reason, are always crusty old white people.
That's. Oh my god.
They are.
Right.
Boris Johnson, David Cameron,
Boris Johnson.
George Bush. They're all
He's
Ivy.
the fucking mayor of London.
But I'm saying they're all Ivy
He's
League
not
people.
Illuminati, dude.
No, I know, but I'm saying these
Boris
people.
Johnson. People won't even remember who Boris Johnson is in 100 years' time.
When the EU
all the Rockefellers and all the.
Do you understand though? They could have made that decision to leave the EU, and nothing could have ever been done by the people. Now, because of social media, everyone's talking about it, arguing about it, whether they understand it or not. Whichever way they go, it creates a discourse, and technology does that, and that's something they can't really control as well as they could. Back in the days when they killed Kennedy, and they did kill Kennedy, folks.
But at the end of the day, dude.
Or the drug war that Richard Nixon came up with, when it was actually not to fight drugs, it was to oppress ethnic minorities and get an entire generation of soldiers hooked on drugs in the Vietnam War, creating an income for black projects for the CIA and things.
Okay.
Because of Edward Snowden, because of WikiLeaks, because of all these like whistleblowers, he can't live in America anymore. He's moved to Russia. But technology and social media is dissolving those barriers.
I massively agree on that.
As people recognise the ugliness within themselves and the elites, they will rebel against that and fight against it. Not going, oh, we're going to have a revolution, but people just reject that and go, no, we're not doing that. And you're seeing that more and more. So I think in 100 years, it's going to be even better than it is now. The only question is, if we become complacent, the machines may take over, or we'll see a merging with machines where you're like, oh, hey, I have really trouble with my memory. I can't remember lines. We've got this chip for you. It just goes in your head. Also, it doubles as a mobile phone, and you can take pictures with it. You just look at something and go, click, and you can store stuff in your own hard drive and database. 100 years from that, half your brain will be cybernetic, and you'll have a cybernetic arm because it works better than your actual arm. You'll have a dick transplant that works better than an actual naturally born dick. And eventually, I think this merging of man and machine will go that way.
I get what you're saying, but going back a couple of points, with this idea of
philosophical terms,
communication, and we do have so much more of a say and an impact. And Facebook, it's an incredibly powerful tool, X, Y, and Z. But let's give the example of the dark web. That guy who set up the dark web started this whole online community where it was people could go and buy drugs safely. You didn't have to go down some dark alley and meet some dodgy drug dealer who you could possibly get mugged by or... What?
So much sexier that way, though.
It's the danger.
Can I ask you something, though? I've got a question for you, Annie.
But look at what happened to that guy. He's in prison for life. Done.
Yeah, he is, and
because of the powers that be, because of the people, because of those elite, they are the ones at the end of the day. I mean, when you consider the numbers of them compared to the billions of us normal people.
I've got to stop doing coke on this podcast.
It's only 3:30 in the afternoon. I don't know what the hell's happened. I think it's my tea. He's in prison.
All right, but that's one thing.
That's it. No chance for bail. No chance for parole.
I know, but Ellie, again, these are almost little storms.
But that would have been huge.
If
the dark web had
it does carry on.
It is still there now, but
the people that use the dark web probably to move all these drugs ultimately are the fucking CIA and the government.
Yeah, there you go.
But I'm saying, if you imagine it, there won't be any shops probably in 50 years because you'll see something on the computer, and what you'll do, I want to buy a new computer or a new whatever the iPad is in the future, and you'll just download the plans for it. That's what you'll pay for, and then your in-house 3D printer will create it for you. Like Star Trek.
Does that mean one day you'll actually be able to speak, spell, and write properly?
Yeah. There'll be some corrective surgery that grows a neuron and some neural pathways that makes you not dyslexic anymore. But again, they could just go, oh, we've got this chip to put in your head. Technology will eliminate money eventually, Ellie, because things become cheaper and cheaper the easier they are to manufacture and do, right? If you buy something on the internet versus go to a shop, the thing on the internet is going to be loads cheaper than the shop because they're not paying rent and overheads. It just comes from a warehouse that a few people work at. They take the thing off the shelf and they just post it to you, and it's cheaper than going to a shop.
Now, what you've discovered recently,
you're not listening though.
Where you ordered those trainers, and what were the trainers that you got?
Because I ordered them from China. But again, like the thing you mentioned about the dark web, these are tiny teething troubles that will eventually be righted. They could even be righted by an artificial intelligence system that wouldn't make those kind of human mistakes.
But then, okay, let's say that what you're saying is true.
And what I'm saying,
one day there won't be any money. There won't be shops.
Technology will eliminate money.
Oh, bollocks. I just drew it myself.
Once you remove the labour force, because a machine is making
But then
it.
there'll just be some other way that the higher powers will be able to control it.
No, because through social media and this altruistic way the world is slowly going, people will reject that stuff and you won't be able to hide anything. You should eventually, I imagine, end up in an inclusive, everyone's the same. No one, you don't have like celebrity culture.
So how is that going to work, say, like somewhere in Africa or India?
Because you'd have a machine you give to Africans that would dig a well for them. They're talking about buildings that can grow them
So
fucking
who's going to pay
selves.
for those machines that are going to be sent over to Africa and India?
The machines will make the machines. That's what I'm saying. I think we're heading towards this technology.
Let's start from the very, very, very beginning. Let's say America make the first robot that can plough a field,
All right.
can harvest
when plasma screen TVs first came out, they were 12 grand for a 50-inch plasma.
Mm-hmm.
Within 6 years, or even when did they come out?
But if you go to a hut in Africa,
me-
dude, they don't have
can I
12.
finish?
They don't have 12-inch plasma screens, do they?
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, plasma screens now you can get for 300 quid for probably a 60-inch.
But again, dude, that's the Western world. The world is a big place.
Yeah, but I'm saying as we have this altruistic outlook on life and technology connecting people, they're going to demand that these people get brought up. People aren't going to be like, I think, into and assuaged by diamonds. Like I said to you yesterday, they can make an artificial diamond now that's better, purer, and nicer than a real diamond, but women still want real diamonds because women are...
Ethan, we're trying to not swear. Actually, no, I'm trying to not swear so much. I think I've only effed and jeffed
I
a
think
couple of times on this.
the only thing that actually costs money is labour and time to do it. If you could press a button on a machine, it makes anything you want. You want a new shirt? Oh, I've seen this design like from All Saints 2095.
But then what kind of people are we going to be? What are we always talking about, Ethan? It's the struggles, it's the hard times that actually make you the decent person.
Not
and you
necessarily,
grow in that way.
but it's also the
But
ugly.
look at all the people that
But
are
it's also the
privileged.
ugliness of people. So I think we'll merge with technology and we'll get rid of that like primitive monkey side of our brain with jealousy and hate and oppression. And the machines will either go, God, people, what are you doing? There's a famous quote, I can't remember who said it, but it said humans are the sex organs of the machine world. So we're basically here to bring machines into existence. And it started with pocket calculators and washing machines. And eventually it'll go to this kind of like cybernetic biological being that's almost kind of like... You want to experience different states of consciousness, it can switch into that. It's in all places at all things. A bit like V'ger in Star Trek, the motion picture. If you give a machine enough time to self-correct itself and think about itself and philosophize on who it is and where it's going, which is what we're doing, it will evolve into the next layer of thing. The same difference between a chimpanzee and you will be this machine and you. You'll be the chimpanzee to this machine. Part of the evolutionary natural cycle, but this won't be like a biological entity. And eventually, I think, when machines get that advanced, they become biological again anyway. Do you not think? Hardware turns into software. But I do think, with this music playing in the background, we could all agree that I'm right.
I'm right, you're
What
wrong.
do you think,
I'm big,
listeners?
you're small.
We have a letter, actually, from the
I
lovely...
haven't finished my notes.
Oh.
Anyway,
Ask your questions.
how does John Connor, bullshit Bale, know his father's full name?
You've asked this in several episodes now, and I don't have an answer for you. Apart from the fact Sarah Connor's told it to him, saying, this is your father. But as trying to find John Connor in this future, I don't know, I have an answer for that.
It's just because it got brought up again. I was just like, how would he know? Yeah. We then we cut from that particular scene because bullshit Bale has just obviously found out, or he's like, this thing believes what it says, and this thing is saying that Kyle Reese has been taken to like head office or HQ, Skynet or whatever, to be destroyed. Which means that my father's going to die. He's going to die. Clang, clang-a-lang. Excuse me. So we go from that particular scene back to Moonface and Marcus. And Marcus looks like he's about to choke Moonface. Very sad that didn't actually happen.
He doesn't kiss her either, though.
I know, I was going to say, what is that about? Why does he lean in almost as if to go to kiss her and then he starts touching her hair like some pervert? Surprised he didn't sniff it.
That's a man trick you do to draw a woman, and you're like, oh, it's going to happen. And you're like, oh, I can't do it. There's so much more to me than other guys. I just can't dive on you. And that'll impress her even more. You go,
oh,
put your
God.
hair.
The woman that falls for that deserves a smack round the face.
We have a letter from listener James Spaldner,
Okay,
which I'm
We'll
mispronouncing.
forget my notes.
Ask your note.
Hi guys, a quick one this time, I promise. Ethan, I just heard and I'm sending my answer to your question about who flew the A-10 in G.I. Joe. Get off your phone. As I remember it, it was a Cobra vehicle and it was flown by
We've already
Wild
asked this
Weasel. I
no.
can't remember the name of the plane though. Also, I can't really say I know how many confirmed kills I have. Snipers keep a good count of their kills. We lose count after 10. Oh my god. Unless we take
What's a wheelie?
Unless we take our boots off, then we can get a solid 20. Finally, any critique I may send. No, Ethan, this is old.
I know. I was waiting to see how long it took you to realise. He sent us a letter and I can't bloody find it.
Oh, for God's sake. Anyway, back to my notes, you retard. So you think that by Marcus choking Moonface, that's made her like want him more?
No, I just think it's bad filmmaking.
And why would he go to kiss her? I know obviously it's a ploy, but I doubt that that's the reason that he's done it in this scenario.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. I found the right letter now.
Do you want to read it?
No.
Oh God, I'm gonna carry on with my notes first. Okay, so my last question, actually no, second to last question about this particular 2 minutes. If Moonface has already showed sympathy and empathy towards this particular being, aka Marcus Wright, why would John Connor allow her to be roaming around freely, unwatched, unattended, with access to firepower, when she's already said, oh, you know, he's not this person, he's not this, he's not that, he saved my life, blah, blah, blah. Again, John Connor is meant to be this leader, this guy
Sharp military mind. You see
yeah,
things before
you'd
they
think
happen.
about every single different possible outcome, right?
Again, it's a mistake on the filmmaker's part, I think. But then again,
Massively.
I don't know, if you were getting in a flutter over a dude, I don't think you'd ever help him escape. Basically, I think she's been taken out of suspicion, or beyond suspicion now, because we've all discovered he's a machine. She shot him with a gun. Common's gone,
Janie's
hey man.
got a gun.
Hey man, she shot her with a gun, like, yo.
Janie Briggs got a gun. She's
We've
got a gun.
We've had another letter from the lovely Jane Spalding, though, which.
And then
Elliot's
my
gonna
last note.
have a look after this last note.
My last note is what is this weird well thing that they've fallen into?
It's one of the launch tubes, I think, for a giant nuclear missile. I think they're actually holed up in like a nuclear base or some kind of like missile launch facility. And they are kind of like the bits that the missiles are launched from.
And I do have an NB on my notes, and that is when John Connor is listening to the tapes that his mother's made. She's talking about Skynet, and she goes, and they will have methods I can't even imagine. Really sounds like she's saying meth heads. When you listen to it back, because I had to listen to it twice, I was like, what?
Meth head
They will have meth heads like I can't even imagine.
Oh, I think methods she can't even imagine. She's getting turned on with the possibility of Skynet going, oh God, I haven't done it for so long. I bet they've got some amazing
Arnold
methods.
did make a very sexy Terminator, and you know she was moist that first time he put his hand down and went, come with me if you want to live.
James Spaldner, we have a letter
She
from him.
misinterpreted the cum. Anyway, oh God, why do I have to read this? Jesus Christ.
You're a better sight reader than me, and you've got 10 minutes before you have to leave.
Hi guys, I'm back. Sorry that it's been a bit, but I have been on the road. Ooh, the long and lonely road. Don't interrupt me. I had some business to go and take care of across the pond last week. So that's why it's been a while since I've written the show. Oh God, he killed his wife. However, once I heard you read John's letter, I had a change of heart and realised my trip wasn't necessary anymore. So I had a few drinks in the grand old UK. Oh my God!
What?
You were in the...
Oh no, I think he's bullshitting. I think he's suggesting he was going to come to kill John
Flew
Nichols.
back here to the States, and now here I am. I'm kidding. I would never drop everything and fly 8 hours just to prove who would prevail in a battle between John and I. Is that Connor or Nichols? Like I said before, John is quite mighty and a hearty defender of the realm. A very formidable foe, I'm sure. Don't kiss ass, Spalding. You know you'd kick his ass. Seabass!
How dare
Okay. Well, I'm sure if there was a competition of who could drive better, Nichols would trounce him.
Whereas
okay.
you could kill a man with his bare hands.
With mind bullets. Okay, that's enough
And
of
see
that.
steam rise out of the bloody wounds as he buried him in his own grave that he dug previously. I think that'd be Spalding.
Let's get down to business. So, start off with, and I really hate to do this, but I came across 2 cock-ups for the show. Bing, bing! The first one has to do with your YouTube videos. You have the
Missing
2-minute video
episode
clip
30.
for episode 33
I know.
playing for episode 34.
I found out last night.
As much as I'm sure Ellie would love bullshit Bale and Marcus almost kissed 2 times over. You may want to go in and switch it up so that the amazing commentary matches what's happening on the screen. Ethan, that's your homework. For cock-up number 2, bing bing, I'd like to go back a few episodes and address the raining inside event. Oh no, this is where we're going to fall out, James. I hate to say it, but it's not actually raining inside. Everyone is still outside. If you watch minutes 58 to 62, get this guy, he even knows the minutes, episode 30 and 31, you see that everyone is walking around out of the transport HK, which just landed in the courtyard.
No, yeah, there's an outdoor bit.
And
but
into the
actual factory
cattle
part's
chutes.
got a roof.
All still outdoors. I'm not convinced, man. Another giveaway is the warehouse wall you see in the background. If you look at the line of windows, you see that they are open and tilted down and out. Windows like this only pivot outward and downward towards the ground. The reason being is if it rains, like it is, the windows can remain open and water will hit and roll outside and not into the building. Okay, that's all I have to say about that. Cool, Mr. Weatherman.
That's not to say the roof wasn't blown off of this factory ages ago and they're using it as a facility now, and like it doesn't really matter if there's a roof.
My
right?
next note is this.
Anyway, I think he's. What about when it was raining? When it was raining outside and it wasn't raining, it was raining on episode 26. The moon is made of tits. Look at that one, 26. That definitely was raining.
My next note is this. A rifle butt or pistol grip, when applied heavily enough to one's cranium to remove all semblance of consciousness, will most definitely split the skin. All of the flesh around the person's head is quite fragile and easily damaged. Oh my god. Is he one of the, like...
Are you listening, John Nichols?
What's in Batman, the Shadows, the League of Shadows? Do you reckon he's one of those?
Yeah.
Is it League of Shadows?
Yes.
It's why boxers' cheeks and eyebrows open up so easily. Ears can be damaged and come off with minimal effort as well. It's a beast. Lastly, we come to something else that is very near and dear to my heart. Predator. Ethan, I see what you're saying about the Predator, possibly throwing something at Blaine, but I don't think that it is what it is. If you watch the scene and listen to the effects, right before the blood splash, you can hear the sound of a plasma cannon bolt coming in. You hear the exact same sound again as you see the second shot coming in and blowing out Blaine's chest. I think the Predator fired an initial shot but only clipped Blaine instead of a direct hit, which is exactly what I said.
I know. All I'm saying is, Spalding, they say, or on the forums, they're saying like an edged weapon because there's no flash. But, I mean, I only say it looks like guts because it looks like guts. Nothing actually strikes him as a wound. It's like blood just flies up into his face.
When you watch the scene, once Blaine realises that the jungle rat thing isn't a bad guy, he stands and turns. I don't think the Predator anticipated the turn, and Blaine only got a graze of the shot. That's exactly what I thought. The second shot then hits directly...
So he looks at this possum and goes, huh? And he turns his head just at the wrong minute and the Predator misses because he just goes, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
The second shot then hits directly once Blaine is stunned from the shock and standing still. Also, when watching the second shot come in, you can see that it's not fast like a bullet, so there would be time for Blaine to move between firing the shot and the impact. So that's my thought on the issue. Watch the scene, give it a few listens, and see if you think my theory is plausible. That's all I have for now, guys. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, James. No, I agree with all of that. But I like the idea that I think it would have been better if he just threw Hawkins like giblets at him and.
That's just because that's what you want to do to all the people that have wronged you in your life.
It just looks like all the predators. Yeah, thanks, James. I completely agree with all that. I do apologise to all the listeners if you are watching the YouTube version. I did put 33, I think, or 34's clip twice over the next episode. But whatever. What did you think, by the way, listeners, of the episode when we're saying there's that observation gallery in this roofless factory thing when all the T-800s are watching? It's the artwork, I think, of last night's episodes. If you check it, you'll see it's just people standing silhouetted in a window.
Are they Terminators?
And
is it extras just mucking about in the background?
Apparently Tim Curry has died. Tim Curry is no longer with us. Legend, Rocky Horror, Clue.
Don't.
Congo.
Are you serious?
No, I'm just bullshitting you.
I fucking hate you.
Thanks for listening, everyone. It's been a great episode. I'm going to try and endeavour to get the actual clip on the
Find us
thing
on
we're talking
Facebook,
about.
Twitter, SoundCloud, all that rubbish.
I've got a question for you,
iTunes.
Spawner, Mr. On the Ball.
Has he died? Are you messing around with me?
I'm messing around with you.
I hate you.
Getting the
Tim
right
Curry is not dead.
Getting the right footage on the right thing. Talking to that, I've actually forgot to even upload episode 30 at all. So you didn't notice that one, did you, Professor? I'm going to try and make one up, so I'll stick it on. I'm going to see if I can rearrange it without deleting all the previous videos to it as well. But yeah, thanks you so much for listening. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Hope this was a philosophical sojourn.
It is.
We really went for it today.
We really did.
We weren't arguing over hot women this time. We were arguing over the machines taking over and AI.
Watch out for machines.
They
They
have
will rule the world.
Thanks for your letter, Spaldner. Thanks for the artwork today,
dangerous.
Nichols. Just kidding. And thanks to Tim Crow for
Staying alive. Ha, ha, ha,
in his wheelchair with a saggy face.
Anyway, hasta la vista.
Baby. Damn, I didn't get to go.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up if you can't take a joke.
You are trashing my scene.
Shut the fuck up, would you? Shut the fuck up. Shut up if you can't take a joke.
And I ain't walking on this set if you're still hired.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up if you can't take a joke.
I'm fucking serious.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up if you can't take a joke.
You are trashing my scene. What don't you fucking understand? 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 Fucking kick your fucking head. What don't you fucking understand? Fucking kick your fucking head. What don't you fucking understand? Fucking kick your fucking head. What don't you fucking understand? Fucking kick your fucking head. Seriously, man, you and me, we're fucking done professionally. Fucking ass.